you know who has the ability to lead this country morally? Pastors, Christians. You know, there's the 14th Amendment. We all have equal protection under the law as long as you're considered part of the all. But if you're one of those unlucky, unfortunate preborn boys and girls, well, then you can just you can just be murdered. And people like Bill Maher, well, they're just okay with that.
That's why I don't understand the 15-week thing, or the Trump's plan is let's leave it to the states. You mean so killing babies is okay in some states? I scold the left on when they say, oh, you know what? They just hate women. They don't hate women. They think it's murder, and it kind of is. I'm just okay with that.
This is the kind of hard-hearted, disgusting, barbaric, morally reckless kind of America we're living in. What Republicans need to do is give a vision, a moral vision of a humane America where all people are accepted, and there's only two kinds of human beings in this great wide world. There's the sinner and the saint. There's the person who understands that they're made in the image of God and are inherently valuable and not to be violated, inviolable. And then you got the sinner who just goes around destroying human lives for their own appetites, for their own personal pleasure, for their own personal autonomy. That's the core value of the Republican. That's the core value of the Democrat. That's the problem of America. I apologize. You know, for a lot of people out there, a lot of people out there think that, well, you know, Jim's just getting too political. The reality is the politicians have picked up the most important moral dilemma in America. We have been fighting for life before this was a political problem for people running for president. We've been fighting for life. By the way, I'm not. You're what I'm telling you, what I'm giving you is a true pro-life, pro-family perspective. And we cannot allow people like Waltz and Vance to lead this country morally. They don't have the ability to lead this country morally. Do you know who has the ability to lead this country morally? Pastors, Christians, people who understand who God is and that we're made in his image and designed to reflect his character and his nature back to him, and that the basic unit of civilized order is the family unit. Mom, dad, that is male, female, and their children. And that mom and dad train those children, those boys and girls, into understanding what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, and what it means to be a responsible, dignified, respectful citizen of a country that was developed by the people and for the people. We need a vision of the future. We don't need let's protect ourselves from risk. Let's protect ourselves from loss of finances through inflation. That's all well and good. But the reality is, where are we going? Where are we going? If a family unit is only designed for my self-actualization, if me getting married is only designed for my personal pleasure, then the marriage concept has been obliterated in terms of understanding what its role is in a flourishing, civilized order. But if you've got a country that doesn't even agree on which humans to kill and which ones to let live, you're not living in a civilized order anymore. I wrote a Newsmax column back in March, and I gave Donald Trump some advice. And maybe he took it, maybe he didn't. I don't know, but he did change his tune afterwards and start speaking in ways that are more aligned with the way in which our country is designed to operate legislatively. I said, look, it's the role of the states to regulate abortion. Okay, no problem. I've said this before earlier. But it is the role of the federal government to protect all people equally, without qualification and without partiality. The federal government needs to come along and enforce the law equally. And what I mean by that is, for example, Merrick Garland, U.S. Attorney General, came out a year ago, January, saying he was not going to enforce the Comstock Act. I've talked about this before on the show. He's not going to enforce the Comstock Act. Not going to do it. Why? Why? And why is Gottheimer out of New Jersey, House Rep. Gottheimer, wanting to repeal the Comstock Act? This is a pro-abortion politician who's in league with Elizabeth Warren that wants to shut down pregnancy centers. Well, it's because the Comstock Act makes it illegal. And by the way, it is a law in the books. It makes it illegal to ship abortion paraphernalia, including chemical abortion drugs, across U.S. borders or state lines. $250,000 fine per instance with 5 years jail time. okay, plus racketeering, which is triple damages for anybody that participates or facilitates it. And that includes doctors that prescribe it, pharmacies that dispense it, carriers that ship it, politicians that protect it. I mean, you name it. We're talking jail time and trillions of dollars in fines. I'm not kidding you. If Donald Trump really wanted to stick it to the abortion industry, he would replace Merrick Garland with an attorney general that takes his oath of enforcing the law seriously, okay? And the abortion industry would be dismantled and destroyed overnight. Everything that they're doing right now is against the law and harming women. It's unethical, medically speaking. It's criminal, actually. Anybody that supports it, promotes it, pays for it, etc., they're all part of the racketeering gig. This is organized crime. I wish, like crazy, that the church would wake up to this and understand what's really happening. That's why I'm saying this. And I do think that, quite frankly, a vote for Harris-Walz is a vote for the destruction of entire classes of people, starting with preborn boys and girls, and moving that line over into boys and girls that have already been born. I think the number came out, there's 140 known boys and girls that were born alive because of a botched abortion and were killed or let die for refusal to provide life-saving medical care. The babies that were found in Washington, D.C. by the pro-lifers that were protesting outside of the abortion clinic that killed these children, instead of the abortionist, murderous going to jail because he did something illegal, the pro-lifers are being sent to jail by activist federal judges. So this is the kind of thing that was very disconcerting in America, and people that tell the truth about these things, like yours truly, are running organizations that are being targeted by these very same people. Harris has targeted pro-life pregnancy centers. We're being targeted by pro-abortion domestic terrorists, Antifa domestic terrorists. We're being targeted by pro-abortion politicians through weaponized legislation, through like Governor Hochul has signed legislation against us to investigate us. We're being targeted by Letitia James, Attorney General of New York State. We're being targeted by Rob Bonta, Attorney General of California, all designed with one thing in mind, and the stated express purpose is to shut us down. Shut us down. Why? Because they don't want women to know the truth. We provide women free medical care and comprehensive community support so they can actually have a choice. When a woman faces an unplanned pregnancy, she says, I'm stuck, I'm trapped, I've got no other choice, I need to have an abortion. That's why we're here. That's why Christians do what we do. And we do it for free. And they say, oh, no, it's just deceptive business practices. It's deceptive business practices to provide free medical care? First of all, it's not a business. There's nothing being exchanged except for us delivering information and quality care, ethical care to women. But they don't want that. They don't want women to have a choice. They want to force women to have their abortions. And let me say it again. They want to force women to have abortions. People say, oh, that's hyperbole. That's you're going off you're going off the reservation there, Jim. Well, I'm not. Because Letitia James, we actually provide abortion pill reversal. We can actually reverse the effects, according to science and according to lived experience, we can reverse the effects of chemical abortion. And we do, through progesterone therapy, which has been used for 70 years in the OB practice, okay, in the OB industry. And she says, oh, no, that's wrong. It's bad. It harms women. It goes against the science. Well, she's wrong. And she's doing this, interestingly enough, during an election year. And so she's using the resources of the taxpayers through this massive attorney general's office and all their lawyers and all their billions and millions of dollars to drum up the vote and to villainize and demonize and marginalize people like us who believe that all people need to be protected, including preborn boys and girls and their mothers. All people. No, they don't want all people protected. They're not interested in protecting all people. They're interested in buying themselves more power, and they do that by pulling the wool over the eyes of half the electorate. So this is what's at stake. I believe this election is probably the most important election in terms of the future of this country, as the election of the first election with George Washington. Honestly, I think we've got a lot of problems that we have to deal with, but these are when we underestimate the moral decay in our society by categorizing abortion as just another social issue, we're lost. We've lost our soul. We have no idea what it means to be human anymore. Abortion is not just another social issue. It represents a fundamental misunderstanding about what it means to be human under God. So if you're nervous that I'm talking about the fact that politicians are talking about what it means to be human, Someone needs to speak the truth to a morally flawed political elite and point them in the right direction. And if the church isn't willing to do it, no one will. No one.